Hello guys, in this video we are going to implement role-based authorization. So we are going to implement this authorization using Supabase from the previous video where we used it for the authentication. We now use it for the authorization and we will create some custom hooks on the Supabase website and integrate custom claims and roles. So let's start implementing it with using clean architecture and .NET. Okay, so first we need to add some changes. We need first to go to the Supabase website and you need to use the private key. If you remember from the previous video, we have used this public key inside the user secrets. So in here, inside the program CS, if you remember, the Supabase key was this public one. Now, to be able to use this role-based authorization, you need to use this service role secret. So this secret allows us to update some tables inside our users and do things like that. With this one, we can only get the tables, but we cannot modify them. With this one, we can modify. So we are going to use this one. Okay, and now let's see how we are going to do our authorization. So if we go to authentication to hooks, okay, this is some custom hook that I have already made. So you're going to go to add hook. It is not listed here. It will be custom access token hook. Okay, and you will need to add that hook, like here. You will choose the function that I will show you how to create. Okay, so now we need to create that function. You'll go to database, functions. Okay, if you see here, I have some function that is already created. That is defined here. So you can create it if you go to SQL editor. And okay, we have the function here. I will not type it from the zero. You can stop the video and type it yourself, but I will explain it. So this way we go to SQL editor and we type here like we type any SQL code. So in here we create the function. It must be called like this, public access token hook. So this hook occurs every time before we are creating our claims, our token. So every time we send request to Supabase and before creating the token, this hook will automatically execute. So with return JSON, we use this language PLPG and we declare some variables. You use this so we are able to do inserts or update or deletes inside our hook. We use this volatile. So we declare some variables like claims, JSONB, user role, that's an enum we need to create, and user as exist. That is our variable. So before we begin, let's create first the tables that we will be needing. So in here we have this table that we need and this enum type that we need. So you know what are enums. So we can have 3 roles in our system, user, moderator, and admin. Okay. So we are going to create a new table with user roles. So we have ID, we have user ID, so user that has some role, and also we will create the role. This is that role. So user can have user, moderator, and admin. And it will be unique user ID and role. Okay. So now let's go back to our custom access token hook. So in here, we first use this select to check if the user exists. So when we are making request, we automatically get in here the user ID. Okay, so if there is user ID when we add it in the backend, we will select it and insert it into this bool. So in here, if the user exists, we will do some code. And if it does not, we will raise this notice and return. Okay. And return the claims. So if the user exists, we select the role from public user roles. Their user ID is like that. So if we are logging in and not registering, we will select our role and we will get the role for our user. Okay. If user is not null, so we have the role. If we have the role, we will add a claim called user role and with that role. If we do not have the role, that means if we are registering on the first register, we do not have a role. So if the user is registered, we are going to add it to user role. And we are going to insert inside our user roles table the ID and the role. And that's it. And we return the claims. Okay. And here you have some grant usages and permissions that you need to specify. Okay. So you can stop the video in here and here. Okay, you can stop the video and type this on your own. Okay, if you have typed it, let's do again. So if you have executed this like here, you're going to go to database functions and you will have these functions. And then you can go in here, hooks, add the hook, this one, and like I did here, choose this function in Postgres and go with this enable and click enter. And that's it. You will have your custom hook ready. So now what do we do? Now we need to implement our backend. Okay. So we have changed this already here. What do we need now? Now, if you remember, we have the role and the user ID that we are sending. Okay, in our function. So we need to first create DTO for that because we need to send that. Okay. Let's go to application, and for that first we need to install some library. It's the Supabase library, but we need to add it to our application layer. Okay. Inside the details, we are going to create a new class. It will be role user role model or DTO. So what do we have to do here? We need to specify that this will be inherited from the base model of the Supabase. So we need to create a Supabase table here. We could do this in here, so if we create some separate DB context for the Supabase tables, but we will see. If we need it, we will do it in the future. But for now, we are going to use only this detail. We will specify it like this. Okay. So we need to define the table name. Table. Okay. As you remember, our table is called user roles. Okay. And what did we have that we need? Public string role. We need to specify this column. Okay. What was the column name? It was role. We need also to add the user ID, column user ID, like that. Now we have added this. Now we need to create our controller. Okay. So now we need just to add the policy also first, and then we will make the controller. If we go to the authorization, here, add authorization. Okay. And here we can define our policies. We can go like this, options. Okay. Now we add our policies, for example, options dot add policy. We specify admin policy. Policy like this. Policy dot require claim. Okay, like this. User role that we get returned, if you remember. Like that. And that's it. We have created a policy for admin. Let's do a few more of these. Let's do moderator. Okay. We can use the, here you can say require claim, but we will use the require assertion. Okay. Like this. This way we can create more complex one. Okay. We get the context here. Okay. Context dot. We have the user. User dot has claim. Like that, like we did before. And now we go context dot type is equal to user role, and we will do it like this. Context dot value is equal to admin, or context dot value is equal to moderator. Okay, like this. So we have made new policy, moderator policy. So in here, moderator and admin can access it. And like this, we are going to create user policy, or c.value is equal to user. Okay. So these three roles can access this. And that's it. Now let's use our policies. If we go to the user controller, for example, register, that's okay. Login, for example, log out. You cannot log out if you are not a user. So you can go like this. Authorize, and you specify the policy. User policy. So only if you are logged in, you can log out. It's just like that. We have service controller, for example. Okay, so creating a service. Authorize, policy. Who can create a service? Moderator, we'll see. Auth. Okay. And here put also moderator, delete, moderator, get. We will let that for everyone. Get by the ID, we will let this for everyone. You can go catalog, guest type, here also. Post, put. But in here we have guest type. So user can, in here, change. Can change his guest type. Here like that. Get everyone, get by ID. Actually, my mistake. It's guest type, it's not guest. Let me see. So this is not guest, this is guest type. That's my mistake. So we are going to return to the moderator policy in here. And for the room type also. So if we had here guest, like apartment guest, we could use this. But we have here guest type. Room type. Okay. This looks fine. Okay, we have done it. We have successfully added the role-based authorization. Let's do one more thing maybe. First, how do we make a user admin? We will have only one user that will be admin, that will be probably yourself. We will make that claim with the Supabase application. Okay, but like what if we need to say like we need to specify this, that the user will be moderator. Let's try to do that. Okay, here user controller, public async. Let's see my result for now. Change role. Okay. It's not my result. Task. Like that. To change role. Change role. Like that. Okay. How do we change the role? We need to audit. First, what do we need? We need some data. Okay, so this will be, let's make it post. Or you can say put, but let's say post. Okay, authorize policy. Let's say admin policy. Only admin can change the roles. Okay, so what will we do? We need to add some params. So we need to get, like we created a role model, if you remember. Where was it? In here. Okay, we need this so we can use this model for the Postgres that is on the Supabase. So let's go and create new class, change role request. We can use mediator, but let it stay for this because we do not have that much logic and we will need to create a lot of boilerplate. Okay, string. Okay, user ID. Here role. User, not user. Change role request. Change role request. Okay. So we have the request. If request role with not will not do any complex validation, but just to check if this is, for example, GUID. Okay. If it's not GUID, it will show an error. Why is it? Why is it showing? We need to specify the out. Okay, like that. If it's not dot role not equal to moderator or change request dot role, it's not equal to user. This will true. If not, let me copy this. I'll do this like this. Okay. Or it will actually return. Or so if this returns false, so if role is not moderator, so if role is not moderator and role is not user, we return here results of bad request. Okay. Also, if the GUID is not valid, we return. If it is not, let's add our logic. Okay. So let's go with response is equal to use the client. That is our Supabase client. If you do not know that, please return to the previous video where this is explained. Okay, and we need from. So we need that table that we created. We need that user role detail, this one. Okay, and in here we specify where user ID is equal to change role request dot user ID. Okay, we need to set the value is that role is equal to dot role. Okay, we need to update it. Okay, and get the result. Okay, here not that, like that. So to change that, instead of now we can do string empty. So it is these strings are not now, they will be string empty. Okay, and the warning will go off. Okay, and we have updated it. Okay, and we have the response. And if response dot, what do we have? We have content, response message model. If the content is null, or response dot content is equal to empty array like this, that means there were no updated roles. You'll not show like this. And that's it. We do not need async. We do that for here. We need cancellation token here. cancellation token. What is cancellation token? Cancellation token. So if the request is cancelled, we can pass it here. We need first specify the options. Okay, so we will add this wait async. Okay. And that's it. So we have added it like here. We added this wait async with cancellation token, and we do not need to specify not result. We already get that. In response, we get this content, and if there is no content, we return bad request. If error occurs, it will throw an error, and this will catch it. So that will be it, guys. So we have implemented this role-based authorization, and you have seen everything, the basics you need to know to implement the role-based authorization. We have policy, we have made policies. So if you are not doing Supabase, you could maybe in here directly use if there's claim is role, but we have implemented it like this. So hopefully guys you enjoyed it. If you learned something, please leave a like or subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.